Minimalism isn't about cutting out the joys in life. It's actually the opposite. It's about focusing in deliberately on what you enjoy the most and what brings you the most value. By intentionally focusing in on what matters the most, you carve out precious time and energy for the things in life that bring you the most value. Along the way, we found that minimalism has, without a doubt, solved so many more problems than we'd even thought possible. The impact of simplifying your home, your material possessions, your stuff, has far-reaching effects into improving nearly all areas of life. So today, we're sharing 9 common life problems we found can be solved by owning less.
First up, minimalism drastically alleviates financial stress, which is a big problem plaguing many of us right now, especially during this cost of living crisis. Financial stress is awful and it backs people into making really difficult and stressful decisions about their money and how to best use it. With minimalism and owning less, it encourages you to buy fewer items, which is certainly a profound step in saving money in the first place and preventing the build-up of further debt. When you intentionally set out to own less, you'll start to see the world little by little as not something to race around spending your money as soon as your paycheck hits your account. You'll be less likely to spend impulsively when you start to really look at the items you already own and start to be discerning with what you actually want to keep in your own home. Decluttering unwanted items in your home is a fantastic way to reevaluate what you really value and want to spend your money on going forward. It's when you start wanting less stuff that the weight of financial stress can start to fall off. If you're feeling stressed out financially, deliberately trying to buy and own less stuff and practicing saying no to impulse purchases, it'll help your financial standing. It's like a snowball effect, flexing those I don't need it muscles. The more you don't spend on clutter, the more money you save. The more money you save, the more you can invest into other worthwhile areas in life and the better off you'll be financially moving forward. Focusing on owning less reduces financial stress.
Next, as a second common life problem we've noticed, which is solved by owning less, decision fatigue. Owning fewer things simplifies decision making. From repetitive daily choices like choosing what to wear every morning to deciding what home decor items you need to dust this weekend. Simply having less in your home helps weed out countless repetitive decisions. It's been shown that as the day goes on, we as humans have a decreased ability to make quick, efficient decisions. And the more choices and decisions we're forced to face, our ability to discern good options lessens. So if you're struggling to make even the simplest choices and it feels like your mind is wading through sludge, even at the thought of figuring out what you should have for dinner tonight, it might be good to know that if you focus on physically owning less stuff in your home and being surrounded with clutter, which is anything you don't love, need, or use, decisions will become easier. Owning less reduces decision fatigue.
Next, as number 3 on our list of common life problems alleviated by owning less, time pressure. Nearly all of us feel like there's simply not enough hours in the day to get everything done that we really want to. Not enough time to get all the work done, to chill out, to catch up with friends and family, to eat healthy, to get enough sleep, to have a tidy, clean home, the list goes on. The time stress we all feel to get the worthwhile things done is a pretty common human experience, but it's exacerbated by buying and owning an excessive amount of stuff, mainly because all that stuff costs you money, which costs you time, hours of your life working to pay for things. The more you own, the more you'll need to work overtime to pay for it. I remember when this really sunk in for me, my first year of working my first truly stressy 9-to-5 office job. I'd go out on my lunch breaks and try to distress with some retail therapy, which one day it just hit me that I was spending a huge chunk of my money on clothes for a quick dopamine hit to feel a little less stressed at my job, which really meant I'd need to work even longer hours at work to pay for it. A one-time wear dress in my hands or work another hour. Time is money and money is time. Our time here is limited and I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend a disproportionate amount of time working long hours, missing family lunches and weekends with friends just to work hour after hour to buy stuff I might not even want to wear in a few months' time. If you're feeling the stress of time passing, and specifically like I was, feeling like time spent at work is taking over because of a shopping habit you picked up out of stress, actively trying to own less can help refocus that into homing in on what you really would rather be doing with your time. Owning less and buying less helps with time stress. And personally, I'm glad I know this now before any more time slip by.
Another common life problem many of us face is the issue of needing to spend an excessive amount of time cleaning. Cleaning your home is a never-ending task, yes, but there's definitely ways to cut down on the amount of time and effort it takes to get your home looking and feeling neat and tidy. A cool stat that we've talked about before is that the average household can fully eliminate 40% of all housework simply by getting rid of clutter. Go check out our clutter stats video if you haven't already. Imagine cutting out 40% of your housework on any given week. That would make your home so much easier and quicker to tidy up in a pinch when those unexpected guests call to say they're 10 minutes away and are dropping in for coffee. This literally just happened to us this week, and within 10 minutes, Jess and I had fully vacuumed, dusted, and tidied our entire house. And that's with a shedding golden retriever on dark wooden floors, leaving her glitter wherever she goes. It felt great saying yes when our guests called and said that they would love to pop over unexpectedly, and knowing even though Jess and I have been getting over an awful virus for the past 3 weeks, we could zoom around and fully clean our house and have them over for coffee and cake. I remember a time when the thought of that would have been preposterous, with all our stuff strewn everywhere, loads of things crammed into corners and overflowing drawers. But cutting out clutter really has reduced the time we spend needing to tidy. I know so many people struggle with the ever-growing pile of stuff to sort and tidy, rearrange, dust and manage. So if that's where you are right now, or you simply want to make cleaning easier and for it to take up less of your time, try owning less stuff. Less stuff equals less stuff to clean and tidy.
Next, another common problem many of us face in life is the issue of not enough space. When things change and evolve to different life stages, much of the time the question of adequate space comes in as a big factor. Many families feel crowded and overwhelmed by stuff, which makes their space, their home, feel like it's not big enough. Houses are getting bigger and bigger, and more of us are spending excessive amounts on storage containers to house our stuff away from our stuff. We buy bigger homes with more storage, then a few years go by and it feels like there's not enough space again. So the hunt for a bigger home or a bigger space is on again. I think that a lot of the time the problem of not enough space can actually be solved by many people owning less stuff. When we have less stuff, we have more space. The less stuff we have, the more space we have. Space is great and does fantastic things for mental health when we can retreat into a safe, cozy environment that isn't crammed by an overwhelming amount of things that signal to our brains how much stuff there is for us to do. So if you're feeling like you don't have enough space, as many of us do, it might be time to look at your stuff and see if there's perhaps clutter hidden in there. As we always say, clutter is anything you don't love, need, or use, and we're never going to tell anyone to get rid of things that they genuinely enjoy. But I think a lot of the time, years pass and our needs change as the seasons of life do. And sometimes we're so busy being on autopilot that we don't sit back and reevaluate if any of the stuff we surround ourselves with really serves us anymore, or if in fact it actually makes life harder. So try owning less, try decluttering your own home, starting one room at a time, one item at a time. If you've been feeling like space is becoming an issue, it'll certainly simplify things and future you will thank you.
Another major problem that can be reduced by owning less is our level of stress and overwhelm. More stuff equals more problems a lot of the time. The more stuff you have, the more you need to manage and have responsibility for the rest of its life in your home. In today's society, the level of stress and overwhelm seems ever mounting, and I think a lot of it has to do with the over-consumerist world that we live in. There's always more to buy, more profits to make, more stuff to fill our homes with, but so much of the time, feelings of stress and overwhelm are just exacerbated by more stuff, by the clutter in our lives. Clutter isn't just physical, it impacts you psychologically. Living in a cluttered space can literally increase stress levels by raising the hormone cortisol, and this can lead to frustration and resentment, especially if one partner doesn't see the problem with that overwhelming amount of belongings. Apparently, about half of all couples fight about clutter, so it has a way of putting strain on relationships too. When there's literally more stuff, there's more to fight about, there's more to manage, more to tidy and to put away, or not. And we're all very busy nowadays, so excess stuff just adds to that. But the good news is, if you want to reduce one big common area of stress in your life, you can start at home by looking at your things and identifying clutter. Start small. Start in just one area of the home. Go gather your donate box, a sell box, a trash bag, and make yourself your favorite beverage. If you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, decluttering is actually one of the best forms of long-lasting, long-term self-care. Our ultimate decluttering guide is linked below, available from our website. If you need some help simplifying your home, definitely go check it out.
Next, another common problem in life seems to be, for a lot of people, the problem of discontent. Unhappiness with what we have, where we are in life, what we surround ourselves with, and how we spend our time. Discontent is a sinking feeling that things aren't good enough. When we surround ourselves with a lot of stuff, this level of discontent seems to actually go up, not down. I certainly found this when I was at the height of my shopaholic-esque days. The more I shopped online and in store and bought clothing item after new clothing item, the more my wardrobe was overflowing and jammed with endless clothing combos. The more I grew in my unhappiness with what I had, because I was stuck in the always looking for more, always looking for new, for novel mindset. It's like the more I had, the more I craved, and the more I craved, the more discontent I felt in the long term. There was definitely the quick dopamine high of adding things to my cart, but they were short-lived when the amount of money I spent piled up higher and higher as I was on the hunt for the next greatest thing. Too much stuff makes clutter blindness even more difficult. I was becoming overwhelmed with the excess stuff and ungrateful and discontent with what I did have. Finally, stripping things back and downsizing my wardrobe by 80% felt like a weight off my shoulders as I collated only my favorites of favorites, the timeless pieces I knew I loved, and getting rid of the rest. When I focused in on what I did have and celebrated it for what it was, rather than focus on all the stuff I didn't have, the latest or newest trendiest item that everyone was wearing this season, I found a level of contentment and happiness I didn't know I would. That's where it all started for me, my wardrobe and having less stuff. Less stuff and focusing on what you are thankful for the favorites of favorites, whether that be your physical things in your life or the relationships with people or even how you spend your time each day. When you distill things down and curate them into the most precious, discontent fades away and is replaced by clarity and a feeling of calm and happiness.
Second to last on our list of common life problems solved by owning less stuff, the frustration of finding lost things. When you have more stuff, things seem to have a way of disappearing amongst the clutter, and it's difficult to find anything in a hurry. It's one of those life annoyances that can become a real problem the more it happens, especially if it impacts you rocking up late to something important, like a job interview or a doctor's appointment because you couldn't find your car keys. The frustration of searching for lost items around your house is only ever exacerbated by having more stuff. When there's more stuff for your stuff to hide behind or blend into the background with, to be tossed into the backs of cupboards and forgotten. We've mentioned it before, but the average person wastes 6.5 months of their life searching for lost items. Check out our Clutter Stats video for more of an explanation where that number comes from. Apparently, we have so much stuff nowadays that's actually becoming a real problem, and on average, people lose 9 items per day, which is about 3,300 items per year. That's a lot of frustrating times zooming around your house, tearing things up, looking for a specific thing. So if you want to drastically cut that frustration down or cut it out completely, it might be time to declutter and focus on owning less stuff.
Last on a list of common life problems that can be solved, or at least helped by owning less, the issue of low productivity. Being more productive seems to be the goal of many of us, but did you know that having too much stuff can actually get in your way? When you're surrounded by too much stuff, by visual clutter, it actually engages the part of the brain that thinks ahead to your to-do list. It reminds you ever so quietly that there's things you need to tidy or rearrange, papers to file or toss out, knickknacks to dust next weekend before your friend comes over, items for you to return online before the expiry date, home DIY projects you never finish but need to before your housemate returns from their trip. The list goes on. Having things around you is good for reminding you to do things, but it can also become overwhelming and absolutely tiring day after day. Having an excess of stuff or clutter surrounding you every day means that your brain can't fully switch off and relax. Even if you're sitting in front of the TV, you're constantly reminded of the stuff you're yet to take care of. When you minimize distractions like this, it's far easier to be productive and focus on what you know is more important in that moment. Instead of procrastinating and spending your time constantly arranging and rearranging things day in and day out, having less stuff frees up your mind and your very real time to be more productive. If you're feeling like it's too hard to concentrate or get as much real work done as you'd like to, it might be a good idea to look at your surroundings and see what might be signaling to you and distracting you from solid non-procrastination time. Just like a tidy work desk or office can help clear your mind and prepare you for a solid day of work, less stuff means less distraction, which is a far better environment for productivity to go up.
So there we go, 9 common life problems made easier with owning less. Even if you don't call yourself a minimalist, there's no denying that reducing possessions can help you reclaim time, save money, and bring a sense of calm and control to your daily life. We're all about simplifying where you can, and even starting small can have a ripple effect with making your life easier and more enjoyable to manage. We hope this helps, and if you're struggling with any of the problems we chatted about today, we truly hope that this video gives you a little inspiration or hope on how you might be able to simplify things by owning and buying less physical stuff, specifically clutter moving forward.
Again, we hope this video helps you, and if you're feeling motivated to get started in decluttering and simplifying your home, check out our 30-day minimalism challenge available on our website. It's an instant digital download that's sent straight to your email and a fun way to dip your toes into simplifying different areas of your life, not just the physical. We also have our best-selling Ultimate Decluttering Guide, linked below, and available on our website, which is also an instant digital download. It's a 60-page guided workbook for anyone who wants to live a more intentional, simplified, curated life. It takes you room by room and is packed full of helpful tools and resources to assist you with difficult decluttering decision making. Things like this keep or throw flowchart, specific room checklist, and much, much more. It's the kind of resource I wish I'd had to help me years ago when I was struggling, even to know where to start. Check it out, and we're wishing you all the very best with your decluttering and simplifying journey. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Baby. Maddie's having a dream in the next room.
Even if you don't call yourself a minimalism,
A minimalism.
I am one singular minimalism.
We are a minimalism.